sanctity and integrity of the electoral roll concerns the citizen, concerns the voter, and Parliament is the forum, is the representative of the voter. We are the representative of the people. And Parliament is supreme in a parliamentary democracy. Therefore, the argument that the Election Commission cannot be discussed or is above parliamentary scrutiny is, in my view, erroneous. That's point number one. That's the constitutional issue. Now, the second issue, Vasudha, is a human issue. What we're looking at is a human tragedy. 55 lives have been affected by the SIR. I'll give you the latest figure. 39 are dead in Bengal. There have been 3 suicide attempts. 13 people are serious. This takes the impact of the SIR to 55. Now, this is a colossal human tragedy. The BLOs are committing suicide. BLOs are under tremendous pressure. The Election Commission has blood on its hands. And the fact is, this colossal human tragedy is taking place at a time when Parliament is in session and Parliament cannot keep silent. How can we keep silent on this colossal human tragedy? Now, the fact is, what we are saying is that this matter is an urgent issue. It is imperative that Parliament discusses it. The fact is, the BJP, which is so quick to always defend the Election Commission, if the BJP has nothing to hide, why doesn't it want a discussion? The fact is that the BAC yesterday, you know, there was the Business Advisory Committee yesterday. The assurance was given that by 9 p.m. yesterday, they would tell us the timeline for the debate. Today, in Parliament, we saw that the government was hedging. It tried to suggest that the opposition was divided. It tried to say that, oh, not all opposition parties are on board. We will let you know when the discussion will take place. Why? This is not an opposition issue, Vasudha. This is an issue of every political party. It concerns a free and fair poll. It concerns the sanctity of the electoral roll. Every party should be invested in discussing this issue.
Ma'am, as you make that point emphatically, Veeraraghav here, will there be a united opposition and coordinated protests on this issue? For instance, if the Congress takes the lead tomorrow, will the Trinamool join in and back it out?
Veeraraghav, the opposition is completely united on this issue. There is no division within the opposition, contrary to what the government is trying to suggest. We are saying, call it what you want. You want to call it a discussion on electoral reform. You want to call it a discussion on the sanctity of the electoral process. 14 opposition parties unitedly are calling for a discussion on the SIR. Now, you see, Veeraraghav, the government has to recognize that, you see, in Parliament, the opposition has to be given its time and space. You can't come to Parliament and treat it like a notice board and saying, I will only discuss what I want to discuss. Only my issues will be discussed. Whatever the opposition wants cannot be discussed. That is not Parliament. That is not the parliamentary democracy. Parliament is the home of the opposition. The opposition works in Parliament. In a parliamentary democracy, the opposition is supreme in Parliament. And what is the mandate of 2024, Veeraraghav? The BJP is not a majority government. It's got 240 seats. Opposition and alliance has got 234 seats. The mandate is for a strong opposition. So you cannot bulldoze the opposition in Parliament. You cannot just come to Parliament and say, we will discuss only what we want to discuss.
You're making a very, very strong point there. You've also made the clear point that there is an atmosphere of mistrust with the government. But I want to bring a larger issue here. How do you respond to the accusation as far as the SIR is concerned, whether it is the DMK, TMC or the left, given the grassroots strength of these parties and that they run the state governments, they are in a firm position to ensure fairness and transparency. In fact, they are scared of the SIR because they benefit from manipulated electoral rolls in those states. How would you respond to that accusation?
What about the colossal human tragedy, Veeraraghav? The fact is, we are not against the SIR. We are certainly not against the SIR. We are certainly saying, yes, SIRs have happened before. They must happen again. But, you know, you have to have national timelines. You cannot put these impossible deadlines on the BLOs where you have to match people's names physically, mind you, to the electoral roll of 2002. They have to go through reams of documents to find matches for the 2002 roll. Then they have to upload it on the app. and the app is faulty. They are being pressurized in a horrendous manner. They are under tremendous strain, and therefore they are not being able to cope. And citizens are panic stricken. You have created this terror of documents. Bring this document, bring that document, bring your mother's birth certificate, your father's birth certificate. People are not able to find it. The common public are not able to find these documents. So what we are saying is, certainly please have an SIR, but please be rational about the timelines. Don't hurry it. Don't put this kind of impossible deadlines. Don't put pressure on the BLOs. These are human beings. Let us rationalize the timelines and then continue with the SIR. Why was the SIR of 2002, 2003 not such a problem? Why were people not taking their lives in 2002, 2003? Why is it happening now? So this colossal human tragedy that is unfolding before our eyes, Parliament cannot stay silent.
Okay. Sagarika ma'am, before I let you go, there's also another issue that the government wants to discuss, and this is the 150th year of Vande Mataram, and they want to also talk about Bengali nationalism, and of course Bengal elections are coming up. How is the TMC looking at this? What would your position be?
We are extremely happy to discuss the 150 years of Vande Mataram. Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay is a great son of Bengal. He's an icon of our Bengal culture. We are certainly very happy to have a discussion on this issue. But the point is, what is the priority here? The priority at the moment are the lives that are being lost in this SIR exercise. Human life is being lost. Why can't the government understand this? Voters are being pushed into a panic situation. BLOs are frantic. They're wrestling with anxiety, and not just in Bengal, across India. So why is the government not recognizing the urgency and human suffering that is taking place because of this SIR exercise, which is why we're saying, please continue with your scheduled discussions, whatever you want to discuss. The opposition wants the House to run. We want the House to function. Of course, we want to participate in discussions. But why can we not have this discussion at the very start on the SIR process? Every political party should be invested in this process. Let us have this discussion, and then certainly we can move on to the government's legislative agenda.
You made your point very clear. Sagarika Ghosh, thanks very much for joining us here. Obviously, it's going to be another stormy day, perhaps in Parliament tomorrow as well. But joining us this evening is Sujata Paul of the Congress, Ghanshyam Tiwari of the Samajwadi Party, Pattabhiran Komareddy of the Telugu Desam Party, and Radhika Kera, spokesperson of the BJP. Radhika Kera, you heard Sagarika Ghosh there. The categorical point being made is that discuss this first and then we are open to every other discussion. Why is it that the government does not want to allow the opposition to raise the issue that it wants to raise in Parliament? Respond. Radhika Kera, can you hear me?
Am I audible
now?
Please
unmute yourself, Radhika Kera.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are now. Please go ahead.
Good evening to everyone. And you know what we have been seeing for the past 11 years? 11 years, every time there's a parliament session, the entire opposition starts this entire drama first outside the parliament, and when they are inside the parliament, they rush to the well, they create this arajak behavior over there. And when they say that they want to discuss something, if you remember, I will not go very far. I'll just go to the last section where the opposition said that they wanted a discussion on Operation Sindhu. Now, when the Prime Minister came to Parliament to speak on that, the opposition staged a walkout. They don't want to discuss issue. Let me get this very right. What Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji said today before the session was a reality check. And the opposition is uncomfortable because truth hurts. The Prime Minister made one thing absolutely clear, that for some parties, the Parliament has become a place to vent their election frustration and not serve democracy. A place where they want to prepare for next state elections, not wanting to discuss national policy. A place where they want to release their anger over a defeat and not perform their constitutional duty. And frankly, today's events proved them right within few minutes of the Lok Sabha starting. It's shameful that the Parliament had to be stalled again and the money of the taxpayers were wasted.
Okay. Very important point. Sujata Paul, why would the Congress party keep harping on this issue of SIR and vote chori, given that it's not really giving you any electoral dividends? We saw what happened in Bihar, before that, of course, Maharashtra and Haryana. Clearly, people seem to be wanting you to raise issues that affect them, and this may not be one of them.
all, let me register my annoyance also at the fact that you are saying that Congress party is not on board as far as discussion on SIR is concerned, and then you are asking me a question on why we are talking about SIR. So let's not create that impression. We are all on the same page, but it is utterly shameful that the dramatic Prime Minister of a democratic nation tells people not to do drama in Parliament, because let's remember, the spirit of a parliamentary democracy resides in the Parliament. The party in power has the government, but those who are in the opposition are there to make sure that the government is accountable, answerable to the people of this nation. But for the Prime Minister, clearly, questions are drama. He wants everybody to remain quiet. On the one hand, he shows a total lack of seriousness when he says that the arrogant, that the anger should not be shown in Parliament. And then on the other, he exhibits his arrogance by telling people to remain quiet. Why is it that there is nobody ready in the government, which is a char engine ki sarkar, coming from the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, the entire government, and the Parliament also is what they want, and they do not want to discuss the SIR. They do not want to discuss the human lives being lost. The BLOs are under pressure, and these are members of families. Why should we not be asking them questions? We know what we want, and we want discussions. That is all that we can ask for. And maybe the government will take actions as far as pollution is concerned, as far as SIR is concerned, because the speed at which the SIR is happening, and like Sagarika Ghosh just said, nobody is against the SIR. Please remember that there is no data.
In 2001, Sujata Paul, you made your point. Ghanshyam Tiwari, is the concern over SIR united in terms of intensity across opposition parties, or are there cracks, as some suggest, in the opposition about who is to take the lead as far as this process is concerned, and how much each one's willing to go as far as this opposition to this process is concerned? Ghanshyam Tiwari.
Good evening, Raghav and Vasudha and my fellow panelists and the viewers. There are a few important things. One, to your question. Uttar Pradesh, I'll read some names. BLO Vijay Kumar Verma, BLO Vipin Yadav, Sarvesh Kumar Gangwar, Supervisor Sudhir Kori, Sarvesh Singh, Ashish Kumar, Shobha Rani, Ranju Dubey, Kerala Anisha George. Coming all the way to Gujarat, Arvind Vader, Ramesh Bhai Parmar, Dinkal Singhodawala, Usha Bain. This is the state that made the Prime Minister biological, non-biological. And prior to 2024, Prime Minister believed that he was non-biological. Post 2024 defeat, it seems the Prime Minister believes that people are non-biological. Because we are all non-biological living in Delhi, because whatever toxic air we breathe, it doesn't impact our children, it doesn't impact our elderly. We are also non-biological because we cannot think about the fact that 20,000 rupees per household, 10,000 per woman was given in Bihar from the day election was allowed till the point voting was happening. If you extrapolate that to the per capita income at India level, then for every family in India, wherever the vote happens, this number is going to be 25,000 rupees per person. We are also non-biological because we cannot think that a Prime Minister who called the opposition campaign in 2024 as Mujra is talking about drama while he himself changes clothes 6 times a day. His absence in Parliament makes more news than his presence in Parliament. And in the last parliamentary session, 17th Lok Sabha, there were 274 sittings of Parliament. How many sittings of Parliament has happened between 2024 and 2025? The reason why the Prime Minister wants the shortest winter session without a discussion is BJP has no voice on the ground and has no voice in the Parliament. They can cheer Modi, but the same Prime Minister, it's not Donald Trump that is visiting the Parliament. The Prime Minister can stand up.
Would you like to respond to that? Because there have been valid points made by the Samajwadi Party spokesperson Ghanshyam Tiwari, and also Sujata Paul also pointed out this very important point. The fact that BLOs have died has also, added to the complexity of this matter. Now that it's been extended by a week, in some ways, people would say is also admission that there is load on BLOs who have not been effectively trained is what the allegation is. I know you're not from the EC, but how would you respond to a situation like that? Because many say that there needs to be a humanitarian way of looking at this.
Radhika Khera, that was to you.
Radhika Khera?
Vasudha was Radhika Kera, Vasudha was bringing the issue of BLOs dying, which is a genuine issue across the board, and I'll take that to the TDP spokesperson as well after you have this one. The point Vasudha was making is that why is that not considered an important enough issue to be discussed in Parliament? Go ahead.
Of course, it's an important issue, but I think they should go and speak to the Election Commission. And if they have a problem, they should immediately go to the court. They have a battery of lawyers, right from Kapil Sibal to Abhishek Manu Singhvi to many of them.
No, madam, but it can also be discussed in Parliament simultaneously. What's wrong with that?
Let me show you this picture. This picture is of Akhilesh Yadav, where he is submitting his papers to for SIR to the BLO. Now here he's submitting his own papers, and then he goes on to create this drama that there are issues happening. So आप अराजकता फैला रहे हैं. Then you have to walk the talk. If you are submitting, he should encourage. Now that picture, why I showed it, is responsible opposition. But they behave like an irresponsible opposition when they try to create this narrative कि सब कुछ गड़बड़ हो रही है. It is very unfortunate if people have lost their lives. But can you, or the BJP the Congress spokesperson, or the Samajwadi spokesperson, or any of you anchors, give it in writing that those deaths happened because of work pressure? Is that the investigation report that you have? Can you say it for a fact that those deaths happened because of the SIR issue? If you can give it to me in writing, we can take it forward from there.
Pattabiram Komareddy, would you agree that there needs to be a discussion on it? Or are you firmly with the point that, look, this issue is in courts, it's before the Election Commission, what's the point in discussing it in Parliament? Because everyone who has filled the forms in a state like Tamil Nadu, including myself, have spoken to BLOs who have complained that it's an extremely difficult process, it's extremely stressful for them.
The Honourable Minister Kiran Rijiju had clearly stated that the government is willing to discuss on every issue and that the government is not running it. But you know, there is a process to follow. There is a business advisory committee. There are timelines that needs to be fixed. So all that can be done, but it's not that, you know, you come on the first day itself and start, you know, playing all this, doing all this ruckus in the Parliament, trying to stall the proceedings. That's not the way. That is the reason why the Honourable Prime Minister had said, stop your dramas, come constructively. We are willing to discuss and debate. And what are their concerns on SIR? I don't understand. I'll give you 3 examples in Bihar. You take, for example, the constituency of Kishanganj, where the maximum number of deletions have happened from the voter list. And there the Congress had won with more than 12,700 votes. Can they deny it? They said maximum number of deletions are happening, you know, and that we are losing. Then why did they win Kishanganj? And also, they also said, you know, in constituencies where, you know, the BJP is strong, there are no deletions. The second lowest deletions happened in a constituency called Chanpatia, and there the Congress had won. And they again said, no, they are adding votes in constituencies and trying to hijack the election. There is a constituency with the second highest.
You know, data, I mean, I understand that data is often quoted and data sometimes often becomes selective because, Pattabiram, because, you know, the Congress party will come up with data. Yes, please go on.
22 lakh votes were deleted in Telangana and the Congress won election over there.
Number of additions have happened in the voting list, and there also the Congress had won with more than
Pattabiram and Radhika Kera, let Sujata Paul make a point. Sujata Paul, make your point, then we go to others. Sujata Paul.
Forget empathy. The BJP spokesperson has no compassion for those people who have died. And she's questioning as to whether we have any proof of suicides having happened or BLOs under pressure. When we are seeing videos, when we are seeing families coming out and saying that their family members were under pressure of carrying out this SIR and you know, submitting it in a hurry. And the fact of the matter is that when the Election Commission is conducting this nationwide SIR, isn't it necessary for the government also to look into this matter when such a huge kind of problem has occurred, when so many people are raising questions on the SIR? And as far as the Telugu Desam spokesperson is concerned, he's really off the mark. We are not discussing what has happened in the SIR in Bihar. We are talking about why it has happened and why is it that the nationwide SIR cannot be done.
Ghanshyam Tiwari, I have a simple question to ask Ghanshyam Tiwari. As a regional party like the Samajwadi Party, and as someone who's tracked regional parties, some would argue, Ghanshyam Tiwari, that a party like the DMK or the left or the TMC more the DMK or the left in a state like Tamil Nadu or Kerala and the Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh has the grassroots presence to ensure fairness in the exercise. The reason why they are opposing the SIR process is because they are perhaps the beneficiaries of bogus voters. That's why they are opposing the process. How would you respond to that?
Well, first and foremost, the unempathetic comment of BJP spokesperson and TDP spokesperson is synonymous with a non-biological prime minister. I will read the suicide note. If you just Google, if you Google surveys saying, please Radhika ji, I did
Okay,
not.
Radhika, I'm coming to you. Radhika, I'll give you time. Radhika, I'm coming to you. Yeah.
Radhika, we'll come to you in just a bit. As soon as Ghanshyam Tiwari is over, you'll get your time.
Radhika, I'm just coming to you.
You have to stop him from that.
Go ahead, Ghanshyam.
If your
Okay, we're
viewers,
coming to you in just a bit. Ghanshyam Tiwari, please continue.
if your viewers Google surveys saying, the man wrote a suicide note seeking forgiveness from his 4 daughters, saying that I am unable, this was yesterday, in Uttar Pradesh, double engine, 4 engine, 6 engine government. When a government has become so cruel that it will say nobody died due to lack of oxygen, no laborers died in the COVID lockdown, nobody is dying. The video note is there from this person crying, right? And the spokesperson can come
let's
here
get
and
a reaction from
state
Radhika.
that-
Radhika, you... Okay, Radhika, UP has a BJP government, Gujarat has a BJP government. Clearly, this is just not happening in states that are ruled by opposition parties. And also the ECI has extended the time for SIR, which is also an admission that the process is a little complicated for BLOs, isn't it?
Let me remind the Indi
Radhika Kheda.
Am I audible? Because I'm speaking there. I'm unmuted.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes,
So let me
yes.
remind the
Go ahead.
Indi Latbandhan spokesperson. I have no empathy and sympathy for the Congress and the Samajwadi Party because they are rumor mongers. And I will repeat it again. And I started by reply when you asked me about those deaths that there should be no deaths. My sympathies with the family and we condole the deaths. And nobody should be dying. We should not be losing even one citizen over any reason. But if they want to twist and turn, that's the habit that they have. Because, and this is the reason why people are keeping them out of the assembly as well as Lok Sabha. आप ये करते रहिए, झूठा narrative is going to come back to you. And having said that, I will repeat it again. Yes, maybe a suicide note we got yesterday, day before yesterday. But how can, like, even during Corona, if you remember, Vasudha, they tried that oxygen की कमी से हो रही है, but बाद में पता चला that those deaths happened because they were comorbidities and lots of other things. Even at that time, they created a narrative, a false narrative. End result, they still ended up losing the election. And when you talk about, I respect what the TDP spokesperson said, let me also add, 22 lakh votes were deleted in Telangana. Congress went on to win that state. That time, Election Commission को तो तालियां बजाई जा रही थी. And if there are discrepancies, भाई, go to the court ना. Rahul Gandhi does not want to give an affidavit. Their battery of lawyers want to prove that Lord Ram does not exist, but they will not go to court against the Election Commission. What the Supreme Court said for
You made your point.
it was there
Radhika
for
Khera, you are
everyone.
asking a question. Let me ask a question to Pattabhiram Komredi and then get final reactions from each of you very, very briefly. Pattabhiram Komredi, isn't this an issue that should not be one being debated between political parties? Instead, one that should have all political parties equally concerned about it. The question that's repeatedly being raised is, why is the government defending this process when there are doubts being raised about it?
I've in my previous remarks, I've clearly stated that there should not be any doubts on the entire exercise. And that's the reason why I've given you so many examples. If they have still further any complaints, they can go to the Election Commission. And the second thing is, yes, every party is concerned about the workload or the pressure or the stress that the BLOs are facing. And that's the reason why Election Commission had extended the time till December 11th. And if that is not sufficient, it can be extended further. We don't want anyone to, lose their lives because of pressure. We're all very concerned. And that's the reason why Election Commissioner also extended the time. We're all for it.
Okay.
And the second thing is, all this drama,
Right.
I'm again saying, all this drama that the entire opposition is playing in Parliament is because they don't have any issues in hand. They don't have any issues. They are totally bankrupt of issues. They don't have anything to raise. They just want to stall the Parliament.
Okay, Mr. Pattabhiram, we understand your point. Closing remarks from all of you. I would like to ask Radhika Kheda, I believe that you are in a position of strength. You've had back-to-back electoral victories. Then why not have a discussion on SIR and say all that you're saying right now? Because clearly the Parliament is a better platform for people to get acquainted with what is on them. Clearly, the government
brief,
in some ways is also acting pricey or acting tough. This is something that you can agree with.
Vasudha, like I said in the beginning, in the previous session, the opposition asked for discussion on Operation Sindoor. The Prime Minister was there in Parliament. Why did they stage a walkout? This is because they are not displaying courage. This is a fear of facts, because debate will expose the weakness of the opposition and the disruption hides it, which is why they don't want any Parliament to function for 11 years. For 11 years, and then they will cite examples
Sujata Paul,
of Arun
final comments from you. Sujata
Yes,
Paul,
in a
final comments from you.
democracy, yes, in a democracy, any exercise of this massive scale must not be conducted without public consultation, parliamentary debate. And here there are only two people who decide everything. And I take strict exception to the fact that the BJP spokesperson was talking about COVID. Why have the pictures of the Prime Minister disappeared from the COVID certificates now? Because there are questions raised on the vaccines. Now, the BJP spokesperson and the Telugu Desam spokespersons are both saying, don't doubt. Why is it that you expect everybody to remain quiet but not answer questions? There is a parliament here, and this parliamentary session is going to be the shortest 15 days, because you do not want to debate, because you're running away from questions and accountability.
Okay, we leave that conversation right here, because it will be picked up back again outside of Parliament, if not inside, Vasudha, tomorrow. Thanks to all our guests for joining us here. But a quick check now of the latest in that Karnataka power tussle, while Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar are all set for a second breakfast meeting on Tuesday. Some sources claim that AICC Chief Mallikarjun Kharge is firm that the agreement in 2023 of power transition allegedly adhered to at that time will be enforced now. While he may eventually yield Siddaramaiah, that is Vasudha, it will have to be on his terms, and the Congress leadership cannot afford to antagonize Siddaramaiah, and that's very clear. The two leaders may be called, that's D.K. Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, Vasudha, to New Delhi. So you'll have more than just the Parliament to deal with in the next couple of days.
Absolutely. Revanth Reddy has already come, he's going to come tomorrow. So there are many chief ministers who will be in Delhi in the course of the next few days, Veera. And we are also expecting D.K. Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah to be called to Delhi soon. And the breakfast meeting that's happening at D.K. Shivkumar's house tomorrow morning is a follow-up of the breakfast meeting that took place at Siddaramaiah's residence on Saturday. This is a show of collective unity by both these leaders, that they are working in the interest of the party, even as there are political undertones and there's this fissure and conflict that is still under current in this whole situation. Let's take a look at some reactions.
Of course, I have to go there. I have to discuss with CM. I want to have an all-party meeting in Delhi on various issues. So I'll discuss with CM. If doesn't, I think I'll have to go and brief them. I don't know. I have to just take out some time.
What is the menu for tomorrow's breakfast, sir?
Tomorrow breakfast, we will inform you. Don't worry.
Sir, Breakfast 2.0 meeting to take place tomorrow at Deputy CM D.K. Shivkumar's residence. We did see just how that 2 days back we had D.K. Shivkumar being at the Siddaramaiah's residence and exchanging the words of the kind of the power tussle that was on, and then both of them come out to say that they remain to be united and they are planning to strengthen the party here in the state. Now overall, this coming amid that the power tussle that one has really seen in the state. Now this breakfast meeting will also again remain to be very important. Now just not about what's really going to be on the menu card therein, but also about the kind of words that are going to get exchanged between both the top leaders as well, because as they also plan to en route to Delhi to try and take the time of the High Command as well. Now of course, even as the plan to meet various union ministers is also on for the clearances of various projects for the state. Now what's really going to happen, the kind of discussions that is really going to be there in this meeting also will be very important, because we've been hearing that the High Command remains to be very stubborn at this point in time, that the Siddaramaiah needs to continue as the Chief Minister and Deputy CM as the Deputy itself for the CM basically. So in all that, whether the MLAs are fine with what's really happening in the state, what will be their further move as well, the kind of discussions that are going to take place inside this meeting will also remain to be very important for us to wait and watch.
Well, yes, there's more breaking news, Vasudha, coming in on this, and this is obviously from DK Suresh, the former MP and brother of Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar, on that breakfast meeting tomorrow. He has sent out a message that everything will come to an end soon. The breakfast meeting is done, and there is another breakfast meeting tomorrow, as we know. That's a very categorical statement from DK Suresh, saying everything will come to an end soon. The High Command will take a decision at the appropriate time. The sense that I'm getting, Vasudha, is that there will have to be a decision. Siddaramaiah would like to delay the process of taking that decision till after March 2026. DK Shivkumar wants some kind of commitment right now. But let's see how this plays out. Not an immediate or an abrupt transition. It depends on Rahul Gandhi and what he decides. DK Suresh's bite. Let's just listen into what DK Suresh said.
ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಸುಸೂತ್ರವಾಗಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ನಾಳೆನೂ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಬ್ರು ನಾಯಕರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೀರ್ಮಾನಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬದ್ಧ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಏನ್ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಬದ್ಧ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್.
ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ಸೂಕ್ತ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂಕ್ತ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ತಗೊಳುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು
ಸರ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಸಿಎಂ ಆಗೋದು ಸರ್, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಗಳು
Right, Vasudha, that's DK Suresh there saying that he's hoping that everything will come to a close in terms of clarity. Let's see how this plays out. Perhaps later in this week, we could have some kind of clarity. Let's take a very short break. When we come back, much more.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
They have inspired us. They have redefined what's possible. They have shown how ideas spark inspiration and create impact. NDTV Indian of the Year 2025. Ideas, inspiration, impact. Coming soon.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
The best app to use is the NDTV app.
दुनिया भर में जब भी भारतीय मीडिया की चर्चा होती है तो एनडीटीवी सबसे पहले जिक्र में आता है।
मैं आपका बात से सहमत हूं, उल्टे हम भी जब विदेश जाते हैं, the best app to use is the NDTV app.
21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They are now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arur, NDTV.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area.
North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. INS Vikrant. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Namaste, India. As you all know, I've been traveling around the world with my music. But this one is truly special. Something that's India. You all must have seen.
Welcome back. Now to another gruesome reminder of caste realities in India. This case from Nanded in Maharashtra, where a 21-year-old Anchal Mamidwar married the dead body of her lover Saksham Thate. Saksham, who is from the scheduled caste, was allegedly killed by Anchal's brother. Anchal belongs to also an extreme backward caste. Anchal alleges that two police were amongst several people, Vasudha, who provoked her brother. Anchal's family is from a different caste, but they knew the boy's family, and there are even videos of the two families celebrating together, Vasudha.
That's right, Veera. We don't know if it's completely to do with caste, but there's enough evidence to show, in fact, Anchal has also spoken about it, to show that caste was an important factor in this episode. The sad part, Veera, is that while we watch movies like Pariyerum Perumal or Sairat, it's the young love, two lovers, two people in love who have to face the repercussions of this dirty reality called caste in India, because their own family members turn against them in such cases. And it's a complex web of patriarchy and having to control, the woman of the house, and more importantly, also, completely embroiled in this caste reality of this country. Let's take a look at what Anchal, the victim here, said to our colleague Vedika on NDTV a short while ago.
आप जिस पल से गुजरे हैं, बहुत ही डिफ़िकल्ट पल है आंचल। आप हमें कुछ बता सकते हैं सक्षम के बारे में? आप 3 साल से उनको जानते थे?
हाँ, जानते थे। 3 साल से हम साथ में थे। हमने बहुत सारे सपने देखे थे। घर वालों ने भी भरोसा दिलाया था कि शादी करा देंगे हमारी, लेकिन एट लास्ट उन्होंने हमें धोखा दे दिया।
आप बता रहे हैं आंचल कि आपके फैमिली ने कहा था कि आपकी शादी होगी सक्षम के साथ। ये कब कहा था आपको?
कहा था 2 साल पहले, और सक्षम से भी यही कहा था उन्होंने। उसके साथ अच्छे से मिलजुल कर रहते थे, साथ में बैठ के खाते पीते थे। मतलब उसको भरोसा दिलाया जा रहा था धीरे धीरे।
और आपको विश्वास था उस वक्त 2 साल पहले कि आपकी शादी होगी सक्षम के साथ? आपकी फैमिली, आपके परिवार समर्थन दे रहे थे आपको?
हम दोनों को भी पूरा विश्वास था, बहुत समर्थन दे रहे थे, लेकिन एट लास्ट धोखा दे दिया ना उन्होंने हमें कुछ आइडिया भी नहीं था कि ऐसा कुछ होगा।
इस वारदात के बारे में आप हमें क्या बता सकते हैं? आप अभी यू आर बीइंग वेरी ब्रेव आंचल।
तो कोई भी भरोसा करता है
जी, यू आर बीइंग वेरी ब्रेव राइट नाउ, बट हम आपसे सुनना चाहते हैं आंचल, क्या हुआ था?
मेरे घर वाले हमारे रिश्ते के खिलाफ थे। मतलब उन्होंने मुझे कहा था कि वो जय भीम वाला है, उसके साथ तेरी शादी नहीं हो सकती। फिर एक दिन ऐसा है, मतलब मेरे घर वालों ने, मेरे पापा ने खुद सक्षम से बात की कि अगर तुझे मेरी बेटी से शादी करनी तो तुझे हमारे धर्म में आना होगा, हिंदू धर्म में। और वो मेरे लिए सब कुछ करने के लिए तैयार हुआ था जब मेरे पापा ने हमारी शादी के लिए हाँ बोला था। लेकिन पता नहीं अचानक से उनके मन में क्या आया।
Another really traumatic story there, Vasudha. Anchal's case, she was just narrating that her family knew the boy. They've been there for 2 years together, and they were trying to convince them, give them hope and sort of tell them that they're okay with the wedding. But she's alleging that they eventually decided to murder him. But joining us this evening, noted activist Dr. Ranjana Kumari, and also Dalit rights activist from Tamil Nadu, Charlene Maria Lawrence. Thanks to the two of you for joining us. Dr. Kumari, when a case of this nature comes up, the fact that she went and married the body of her lover results in viral attention on this issue, and then it fades. This is the reality in several parts of India. Even if this particular case was not entirely to do just with caste-based atrocity, this is the painful reality in India, whether it is Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar or Gujarat.
Well, despite of decades of constitutional protection and social reform, caste continues to shape who has the power, who has the choices, and who can really, and whose choices will be tolerated or will be accepted. And here there are three factors. One, of course, that, caste is, this whole crime and this kind of a killing happens because this is really, the caste really is, this was between the caste supremacy, as they said that you have to join the Hindu fold. And secondly, also that this is a woman. So it's a patriarchy that, that how dare you decide? How dare you decide about your marriage? Now, this is something where our society has, this is the kind of, pits of the pits that we are in spite of so many years, change has not happened. And in fact, on the other side, these are all reinforced by our political class, because for the vote, they again go back to the caste and they start, kind of reinforcing the caste in the society, discrimination. And also if the boy was from another caste, which is supposed to be Dalit, then certainly, and she was also from a very, as you reported and also I read in the media, that comes from a very, in the caste hierarchy.
Extreme backward caste.
Yeah, extreme backward caste. Now, in this kind of a situation, this is really tragic, the way such lethal violence happens on the boy. It happened because the brother of this girl really took upon himself to protect the honor of his family. Now, that's another thing. That's the second factor, that, honor of the family is less on the women. And then they will start to dictate what you should do and not do. I mean, a mature adult girl cannot decide about her future. She cannot choose a marriage partner. And this is really totally unacceptable what is happening. And then worse is that
that's right, Ranjana ma'am. I think women becoming, completely responsible for maintaining their family honor. Charlene, it beats me that states which have been known for social reform, Maharashtra is known for Shahu Shivaji Ambedkar Phule. Similarly, Tamil Nadu, and this case reminded me of the Kaushalya case and several other cases of honor killings that have happened in the case in Tamil Nadu, in the land of Periyar. How have these states that, have managed to be called progressive still not been able to, handle something as basic as this?
It's very unfortunate to say that the work was done for annihilation of caste. But what has actually happened is these states, the OBC power, the OBC caste has replaced the Brahminical political power. And what happens is they have become neo-Brahmins. So if you can see in Tamil Nadu, the number of honor crimes committed by OBCs is like 99.9%. They are the ones who commit these crimes. And even Maharashtra is the same thing. They may call themselves Bahujans, they may call themselves Ambedkarites, they may call themselves Pule, but end of the day, they think Dalits are still lower than them. Dalits are still untouchables for them. And even though they enjoy reservations, even though they call themselves oppressed and enjoy reservations, they still go ahead and kill another, person, a Dalit. This is a kind of dynamics, caste dynamics, which has changed in the last 50 years. That is something which you should work out. Another thing is what I've seen from this case, the other cases I have worked in Tamil Nadu also, same pattern. Archana was talking about police behavior. Police behavior, that is the crucial bottleneck.
That's right.
What police said, they went in the morning to file a police complaint. The police should have protected the girl. Instead, the police said to her brother, go ahead, kill him, and then come and file a complaint. And then 2 policemen accompanied their brothers and father when the guy was getting killed, So she was telling me, I know the policemen. This is something very common throughout India. So if police thinks they can stop these honor killings, but unfortunately police does not do anything. So even if tomorrow,
Shalin, Shalin, you're making a very important point, and we have just 2 minutes left on this discussion, unfortunately, but you're making a very important point. Now, despite the kind of cinema that we have seen exposing these atrocities, as Vasudha was mentioning, we've seen Dhadak 2 recently. There are hundreds of movies which have come out and emphasized this issue as a reality. Is there still a brazenness in the law and order machinery to side with certain caste atrocities? Is the caste feeling so strong, or has that at least been challenged? And is there a fear of retribution in the law and order machinery? Very briefly from you, and then Ranjana.
Yeah, absolutely. Movies will be considered as entertainment. I'm telling you, even I hail these movies, but they'll be taken as entertainment. Oppressors will cry looking at the movies. They'll go back. They stick to their old customs of killing the Dalits. That's what is going to happen. If you're not going to get this anti-caste emotions into school academia, school curriculum, nothing is going to change. If politicians are not going to change, nothing is going to change. And then there's caste associations, caste clubs across Maharashtra. That has to be eliminated. Other than that, can be done.
I don't think cinema changes social reality.
Ranjana,
cinema doesn't change. Cinema may entertain people. Cinema may try to send a message, but they don't change social reality. And still, the country is kept hostage to.
But Ranjana Kumari. Yeah, Ranjana Kumari, very quickly I wanted to ask you, Ranjana Kumari, that families that actually are also seen as progressive, even reform movements are saying that it's okay to dine with people, but don't let your daughter get married. Why is this still a hurdle, intercaste marriages? I see people,
It's a very complex question.
Women,
I wish if there was...
This is controlling the choices that women can make and are able to make. So that not only that you control her thinking, her body, her decisions, everything. And that's what patriarchy does to women, to keep them subordinated.
So you're saying it's a deadly combination of patriarchy, caste, and also a social sanct in terms of the system as well. But thanks very much, Ranjana Kumari and Shalin, for joining us here. It is a disturbing reality, to say the least, Vasudha. Of course, we'll keep reporting when cases of this nature comes up. But how much of a change will it result in society? I don't know.
Absolutely, and we just have to keep talking about it to ensure that another precious life is not lost. Thank you so much for watching. It's time for a short break. Shiv Arur joins you on the other side.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause, I reflect, I dig, until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
They have inspired us. They have redefined what's possible. They have shown how ideas spark inspiration and create impact. NDTV Indian of the Year 2025. Ideas, inspiration, impact. Coming soon. He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
The best app to use is the NDTV app.
दुनिया भर में जब भी भारतीय मीडिया की चर्चा होती है तो एनडीटीवी सबसे पहले जिक्र में आता है।
मैं आपका बात से सहमत हूं, उल्टे हम भी जब विदेश जाते हैं, the best app to use is the NDTV app.
21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They are now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, ऐसे मत कीजिए. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what. Good evening and welcome. You're on India Matters on Monday night with me, Shiv Arur. Let's get you straight to the top stories we're tracking tonight